développement et d'environnement. Je vous remercie tous.
Thank you, President Kenyatta.
The highly anticipated United Nations Climate Change Conference COP26 was held in the Scottish city of Glasgow. The two-week global forum brought together delegates from around 200 countries. With global warming attributed to fossil fuel emissions caused by humans being on the rise, the world leaders resolved on ways to cut carbon emissions by the year 2030. The ministers, however, agreed to submit a stronger 2030 emissions reduction target during next year's meeting.
President of Kenya, Your Excellency, you have the floor.
President Uhuru Kenyatta, who spoke in the meeting, said Kenya will champion Africa's interest on climate change. President Kenyatta told world leaders to implement bold mitigation measures to avert a looming climate crisis. He at the same time urged countries to increase climate financing.
2 times in a row, developing countries have been promised US $100 billion per year, but this has yet to be delivered. Today, once again, yet another pledge of 2023.
Kenya emits less than 1% of the global total. Africa, less than 5%. And yet, Kenya and Africa suffer or bears the brunt of climate change.
The same period saw another high-profile environmental global forum take place, the G20 Climate Summit 2021. The meeting that took place in Rome, Italy, agreed to pursue efforts to reduce global warming with meaningful and effective action summit. But the agreements made in the summit made a few concrete commitments disappointing activists. UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson said leaders' promises without action were starting to sound hollow. The G20 group, which consists of 19 countries and the European Union, accounts for about 80% of the world's emissions. China, the world's biggest polluter, and Russia were not present at the summit and pushed to reach their net zero targets by 2060. Back home, the government was on vigorous campaigns to ensure the realization of the 10% forest cover by the year 2022. The Kenya Forest Service, which is tasked to conserve, protect and manage all public forests within the country's territory, engaged in a series of meetings with county officials. In a meeting with Elgeyo Marakwet, Governor Alex Tolgos, the service was assured of the devolved unit's continued cooperation in forest conservation.
We are working closely with KFS to ensure that we look into it, that we conserve our forests. We've developed a bill and policy to ensure that we do conservation in our community and also our farmland.
We are committed towards ensuring that we preserve the integrity of our forest blocks in Elgeyo Marakwet, including the Embowood forest. And we will use all means possible, both legal and in form of operation, to ensure that no land within Embowood and other forest blocks are encroached and currently being degraded.
We also require to engage with the forest adjacent communities. And in this case, we are able to send our team from the headquarters, working together with the team at the Conservancy and the ecosystem, to also create awareness among the forest adjacent communities in a way of helping them to form a CFA, a community forest association, that we can be able to engage with and who we can give legitimate access right into the forest, so that they are also able to benefit from grazing, from water resources, and from other activities.
The Ministry of Environment and Forestry Cabinet Secretary Keriako Tobiko says the government has realized a number of successes as it journeys towards the 10% forest cover goal by next year.
We involved everyone, okay, from the village, from schools, every person, non-state actors, everybody. And I can tell you, between then and now, tree planting has become ingrained in our Kenyan psyche. We led effort, working together with all sectors of society, civil society organization, corporates, schools, individuals, churches especially, and faith-led organizations started actually preaching. A number of them have established tree planting cultures and programs. Then we started what we call Adopt a Forest. So we have now individuals, organizations, including international organizations that adopt forest or parts of the forest and do the rehabilitation of the.
Climate change has also been a matter of great concern for the government. Failed rains and perennial droughts experienced in different parts of the country brought about the need for quick and tangible interventions.
The plan includes commitment to restore degraded water towers, accelerate forest restoration, and to increase our tree cover to at least 10% of our land area in order to promote a sustainable blue economy, but also promoting green manufacturing.
And the President directed us to ensure that all these strategic forest areas, water towers, are reclaimed.
28th of August this year saw illegal loggers and forest officers abetting the vice put on notice of dire consequences should they be caught. Kenya Forest Services Chief Conservator Julius Kamau said the service is sealing loopholes being explored by illegal loggers to escape arrest.
And we have been able to, in the last 2 years, to reclaim about 55,000 hectares which were previously illegally occupied. And we are happy that these areas now already are regenerating through natural regeneration. And where there are no seed banks, we are going in to be able to support regeneration by enrichment plan. There are few elements within ourselves who have decided to collude with the perpetrators of irregularities of this plantation material, especially plantation materials. We already have done quite serious investigations, and this far we have advanced, and within a very few days head will start rolling.
The Mao, since we reclaimed in 2019, it's been raining there throughout. It's been raining there throughout, and the Mara River that sustained Masai Mara and Serengeti. The same thing with Kirisia. Kirisia, the rivers that had dried up years ago came back to life.
Thanks to the different interventions the government has put in place, the country's water towers are slowly regaining their glory, and communities depending on the same are enjoying the fruits of the same. The wildlife that calls these water towers home are also benefiting from the interventions, but this brings forth an issue of concern, the human-wildlife conflict.
Environmental conservation, forest conservation, and wildlife and biodiversity conservation go hand in hand. And we work very closely with the Ministry of the State Department of Wildlife, Ministry of State of Tourism and Wildlife. The new wildlife policy, of course, that was approved by Cabinet and initiated by the Ministry of Tourism and Wildlife, centralizes that, places the role of community-based conservation.
As we look forward to the new year, the ministry has announced a number of plans and events Kenya will be hosting as it places itself at the center of regional, continental and global environmental conservation efforts.
We have UNEP at 50. We have Stockholm plus 50. We have UNEA 5.2. We have the Oceans Conference. We have the ministerial meeting of all the environment ministers for Africa. And about 4 or 5 key global, regional and global environmental events. You'll be seeing a lot of us working closely with the Ministry of Devolution and the counties. And you'll see a lot of coordination between the national government, my ministry, Ministry of Environment, and counties and devolution to focus on dryland forestry.
The Cabinet Secretary concludes with a word of advice for environment enthusiasts on the importance of protecting our environment for the benefits of us and those that we hold dear.
Remember what Wangari Maathai said, and we didn't listen. You destroy nature. Nature is unforgiving. Nature will destroy you. We didn't listen to Wangari Maathai, and we are suffering the consequences. It's not too late. We can reverse this. We must reverse it for the benefit of posterity.
The environment is where we all are, where we all have a mutual interest
It is the one thing that all of us share. For this reason, it's important that each and every one of us plays their individual and collective responsibility to ensure that it is protected and preserved. Yusuf Farah reporting for the NDA Review from the Mishuki Park, Nairobi County.